Welcome again to Parramatta Stadium. Just standing by for the appearance of both teams. And it really has been a tightrope for these two clubs for a number of weeks now, but this is the testing moment over the next 80 minutes. And these are the Parramatta Eels. Dean Pay is the captain. And quite a reasonable Saturday afternoon crowd too here at Parramatta Stadium. The weather fine. And Parramatta starting this match as favourites. On top of what was a fair performance against Cronulla in Saturday football last weekend. This is their side: Mabon, Mahon, McCracken, Kelly, Russell. The halves, Lawler and Freeman. Very good looking forward pack. Dimmick, Morgan, Smith, Pay, Campbell and Peter Johnston back. Ryan Hilditch, the coach of the Parramatta Eels. And Peter Johnston on the bench last week against Cronulla, and he's come back from injury. He's the player who adds the heavy armour to the Parramatta side. Rod Mabon's form has been outstanding in the second half of the year. A number of try-saving situations he's been put in, has answered every challenge, Rod Mabon. 99 times that these two sides have met. There's another one of the players back on deck for Parramatta. Jared McCracken. One of the biggest of their off-season signings at the beginning of this year. It does seem a long, long time ago. Jason Smith, 2 tries last week against Cronulla. And went within centimetres of a third that probably would have won his side the match. And now it's the Sydney Tigers. Dan Staines is the captain. He's one of 2 veterans in this Tigers outfit. Ellery Hanley, he is there, the second. And of course, these two clubs share Parramatta Stadium as their home ground. The Sydney Tigers on top of a 2-point win last weekend over the Illawarra Steelers. Their side, Brasher, Edwards, Kennedy, Milford, Patterson. Halves, Hanley and Gillette. Their forwards, Morrison, O'Neill, Stimson, Staines, Darren Centre, playing hooker, along with Adam Starr in the front row. Wayne Pearce, one of the former greats of the Tigers, is the coach. And another former great is Stephen Roach. He has sideline duties.
Yeah, beautiful day for football this afternoon, Andrew. A big breeze from the south in favour of Balmain. I know their major goal during the year was to win 11 games. They've won 10. They've got the opportunity to knock Parramatta right out of the 8 today. But one thing they've got against them is they're going into the game without a regular goal kicker. Timmy Brasher having a couple of shots last week. Baysari missed with his only 2 attempts. That could come against them at the end of the day, but Parramatta are in good form.
And Andrew, I think Block is still great.
He is indeed. Paul McBlain, our referee. Gary Edwards, maybe that could be an indication of goal-kicking duties today. Gets us underway. And this Parramatta side looking to start this match and basically collect the 2 competition points right from the word go. McCracken had first touch of the football, and now Campbell works for Johnston. And the Tigers' defence is there. The 2 front rowers, Starr and also Staines. Now Campbell along for Dean Pay. 15 metres inside their own half. Campbell, his first dart from dummy half. A handful there for Morrison in defence. Morrison's had a fine season for the Tigers. This is Jason Smith working with a short ball. And away goes Morgan. Now for Russell. Inside the 30-metre line, and Russell. Dangerous raid from Parramatta early. Last tackle, it's with Dimmick. He's kicking, sending Mahon on the chase. Now Mahon has got Edwards turned around. The bounce wasn't a good one for Parramatta. And it's covered up at the back, but the Tigers under all sorts of pressure.
A flying set of 6 to start the game for the Eels. I was going to make the point that the other change for the Parramatta team is the swapping of Dean Pay and this man, Justin Morgan, with their positions. Morgan in the second row, and I think that's a good move. Shane Russell, a former Tigers player himself, at great speed, and the kick from Dimmick was a good one, forcing another set of 6. But we've got the touch judge coming in. And it looks as though a Tigers player will be penalised here. Maybe some interference on some of the chases in the Parramatta team.
It must be where Morgan went through the gap. And the Tigers will concede the penalty here. Let's watch it again.
There's Morgan going through, and you can see there the number 4, Stuart Kelly, was hauled back out of the play, and that was why the penalty was awarded.
Tim Patterson, the offender. Parramatta would have had possession from the dropout. What this has done is soak up plenty of seconds and allow the Tigers to regroup.
And no surprise to see Parramatta make the break off a Jason Smith pass of late recent weeks. He's been the man who's been creating all the opportunities for Parramatta out wide.
Johnston gets them within 15 metres of the Tigers line. They've got a full set of 6 to work with. Campbell skips out Morgan with a pass and finds Pay. Rock back there as Staines came over the top. Untidy play the ball. Freeman then on for Lawler. Lawler inside for Dimmick. Dimmick up into the line. It was almost a forward pass there to Kelly. Right in front of the Tigers posts, 15 metres out. Campbell works with Jason Smith. He's got McCracken on his outside and held up. Hanley was around the legs to make the tackle. A good play the ball that time. Quick. Freeman, Dimmick spins away from one tackle. Back for Freeman. The Tigers' defence is holding on. 5 metres out from their own line. That is the last tackle. Campbell has Dimmick on his right. Dimmick is with it. Threads it into the in-goal area. Edwards is there for the Tigers. And again, they don't get back to the field of play. So a line dropout.
Good tackles from Jim Dimmick and a good chase from Rod Maybon. Dimmick looks to be a little bit more fluid in his movements this afternoon, despite the heavy strapping on the right leg. Gary Edwards vainly trying to get back in the field of play. He almost did, but was dragged back.
Well, the line, of course, is in goal. Now Parramatta. Johnston gets another hit up. Staines his first man there. Over many years, those two would have confronted each other. Here is Dimmick. Getting plenty of possessions early, Jim Dimmick. Campbell now across for Gary Freeman. Now ball here with Rod Maybon and a step. Away from Stimson it was. In fact, Mark O'Neill was the player he beat. Campbell then away for Morgan. Morgan now, they've earned the penalty for offside down that blind side, the Tigers. So Parramatta, do they keep the pressure on?
I'd be very tempted to kick for touch. Not backwards, just kick for touch.
So Johnston, he goes on the charge for the first. Adam Starr over the top. Campbell away for Freeman. Here is Lawler. Lawler has Smith inside for Dimmick. The two playmakers there. Maybon finds half a gap. And they're back to that familiar ground of 5 metres out from the Tigers line. Campbell away for Freeman. Freeman this time has a run and has hammered in the tackle. That time it was Stimson. 10 out. Dimmick. Smith, it's almost a shepherd. Back for Johnston. Parramatta's defence in a line. The attack of Dean Pay. He offloads then for Campbell. Can they get something out of it? Campbell. They went high. There was 3 players there to make the tackle. Now Jim Dimmick. Freeman. Then for Lawler. Inside for Maybon. Maybon floats the pass back for Lawler. Lawler angles infield. Then for Johnston. Johnston gets into the in-goal, rolled on his back and held up.
Well, Parramatta's problem is they're all too flat in attack. They're not standing deep at all. And let's give some credit to this Tigers defence. It's tigerish. They're coming from everywhere. Maybon makes the half break, offloads, and we thought Lawler might go over for the try, but that's a good hit. And then they hold Johnston up, but good defence.
Yeah, great defence. Give the Tigers a lot of confidence. The defence in this game, they've done 32 tackles to 0. 6 sets of 6 on the way.
Parramatta, the scrum comes back for Freeman. The Tigers actually broke from that scrum before the ball was loose. Blaine allowed play to continue. Dimmick, the pass he had to lean forward to, then Lawler. Tigers defence in the face of the Parramatta players. Dimmick, then away for Morgan. Morgan, good tackle again from Mark Stimson. Just metres out from the Tigers' lines. Here is Dean Pay. Short pass to a flat-footed Johnston. And again they hold on. That time Morrison and Mark O'Neill. Campbell. Now for Freeman inside for Pay. The inside ball being read by the Tigers defence. Freeman then on for Jason Smith. He floats the pass and Russell is the player who scores, a former Tiger. Well, with all the ball, it had to be either Smith or Dimmick to get the Parramatta side through. Beautiful
pass from Jason Smith, but as Paul pointed out earlier, no surprise. Last tackle, running the football through Freeman, onto Smith. He frees play there. You can see the winger, the Tigers winger. He's not quite sure whether to come in or stay out, and that allows some space down the sideline for Shane Russell, the quickest player in the Parramatta team, and no chance for Tim Patterson to turn and chase. Beautiful ball from Smith, and it will show up perfectly front on.
Yeah, great ball from Jason Smith, but poor Tigers defence here. They had 3-on-3 and just did not mark up. You've got a player of the skill of Jason Smith. He can create those sort of opportunities by drifting across the field and sucking them in.
I think in the overall course of this game, it will be very important that Parramatta did score with the start that they got. If they'd have been repelled the way that the Tigers have defended for the first 5-10 minutes of this game, I think the Tigers would have grown in stature and Parramatta would have been a little bit deflated.
It's a long time since I've seen a game 8 minutes old, and one team has not touched the ball yet.
The other thing, I am amazed that Parramatta have allowed Shane Russell to leave the club. I think he's off to the Gold Coast team next year, and he has got genuine speed, something that the Eels have lacked for a little while now. He's a young player, and I think he's a first grader. I'm very surprised that they've allowed him to go.
Lawler, he scored a try, kicked 2 goals last week. Not such a bad attempt first up, only centimetres wide. So Parramatta off to the start. They lead the Tigers 4-0. Welcome back to Parramatta Stadium. And the home team, on the back of a wealth of possession, find themselves in front. Edwards with a restart. This Parramatta side almost a mix up there. Marn comes away with the ball. So this Parramatta side just outside their 20. Campbell working here with Johnston. Under the tackle there of Star. Well, blocker Fatty's raised the point about not recalling a match where one team has had all the possession. What about you? This has been an unbelievable start as Dimmick gets an offload here for Campbell. We'll get to you shortly, Steve, as Campbell has wrapped up on halfway, but it's been all Parramatta.
Well, I always try and look on the positive. Balmain have got a lot of young players in their side. Mark Stimpson already made a number of telling tackles. There's another penalty. But the thing that they're doing, the Balmain side, the young players, they're ball watching Smith. And what I mean by that is they allow him to stand in tackles and pass the ball, hold it out before the line. And you've got to go and make the tackle on players like Smith and Dimmick if you are to get on top of them.
Well, Fatty mentioned 8 minutes gone without a tackle being made by one team. It's now 9.5, and the penalty's also 3-0 against them. You could not get a worse start than what the Tigers are experiencing.
Parramatta are 10 metres out. Temporary hold up, 2 balls on the field. And the Eels have set themselves deep to the right. Dimmick just put doubt in the mind of the Tigers' defence. He switched round to the blind side, a poor pass. And the Tigers come up with it. From the crowd as well. It was Kennedy who got his hands on the ball. This is Stimson tackled 30 metres out. So the Tigers have had to do all the work. Now Staines, and they've got themselves a penalty. So McBlain really coming down hard on the 10 metres.
Yeah, there's odds on he was going to give a penalty in that set of 6. He had the whistle to his mouth before the ball had been played.
He was looking for one.
That's a poor penalty. I think there's been a couple of those. Almost a penalty for the sake of one.
Tigers already have made one change with Staines from the field. Pearson is on. This is Adam Starr, former Sydney Rooster. The City Rooster is now the Tigers working a ruck play with Stimson. Driving tackle there from Campbell. Only 30 metres out though now, Gillette. And Pearson is the replacement player. Did he get the pass away or did he lose it? Blaine has ruled forward from the Tigers.
When you finally get the football, this is not what you want to see. Trying to push the pass in unbelievable situations. It actually came off the hip of the Parramatta play, but then it was knocked forward by Morrison.
This is against the feed for the Tigers. Gillette from the scrum base. The outside backs for Parramatta got quite a shock from that. Can the Tigers make something of it? Now with Morrison. Freeman went with a swinging arm over the top. They're 15 metres out from the Parramatta line. Long pass from centre to Hanley. Hanley inside that ball. O'Neill was able to offload back for Gillette. Freeman that time went low with a tackle. With Adam Starr, he makes good metres straight through the centre. 10 metres for Adam Starr, now 10 out. Parramatta's defence under pressure for the first time in the match. Gillette pushes along for Hanley. Run around Gillette. Inside ball is Kennedy. Kennedy flung to ground in the tackle. This is the last for the Tigers. Hanley from dummy half. There's the grubber kick. Russell turned around. The fullback Maybon is there, and this time it's Parramatta's turn.
Good football from both teams there, keeping the pressure on the Tigers. Good ball movement, some switches in play. Hanley getting out from dummy half. All the chasers are onside, gets it in. Rod Maybon, he waited as long as humanly possible, see if it was going to go over the dead ball line, but realised he had to drop on it.
Have the lead 4-0, courtesy of a Shane Russell try. There's the dropper, 55 on the fly. The big one. Back they come with O'Neill. One of the young talent at the Tigers club that they're doing their darndest to keep a hold of. Simpson. 33 metres out from the Parramatta line. Down centre. Another good season. He was the Tigers Player of the Year in 1995. He joined them from Canterbury. He's backed it up this year. Now Pearson. This time the offload for centre. Keeps it going there for O'Neill. Floats the pass for Patterson. Patterson comes back in field. The defenders were waiting, but the Tigers putting some passes together right now. Hanley, he's getting involved. Gillette, run around this time. In fact, inside ball for Brasher. Brasher is there for the Tigers. Well, the Parramatta side, they left the door open, and Brasher went marching through.
He's an amazing player, Tim Brasher. He just sniffs around, and he's a bit like Andrew Eddinghausen, invariably in the right place at the right time. Hanley throwing the football across. We freeze play there. You can see that the Parramatta line is back that way. They've got to be up in a straight line, and that opens up the gap on the inside because it is staggered. Play continues. Peter Johnson throwing the arm out. Maybon, no chance one-on-one with Tim Brasher that close to the line, and been a great fight back from the Tigers. It was all one-way traffic early, but their first opportunity at this end of the field, Gillette did very well. He attracted two defenders, and Brasher, great mover.
Tim Brasher, the question has been answered. He is the first choice kicker here, and he has kicked before, even at Origin level. Just on State of Origin for Tim Brasher, he hasn't missed a match now in the past 4 seasons for New South Wales, and this one from right in front to give the Tigers the lead. He's done that, Tim Brasher. So they lead by 6 points to 4. 14 minutes gone. We'll take a break. Gone, and Chris Lawler as Parramatta's first kick-off of the day, and Brasher is with it. So the Sydney Tigers have done very well to open this match, having to do all the defence. Oh, and Marner's come out of that tackle, hit by his own man, Dean Pay. He's all right, Scott Marr. The ball carrier, Adam Starr, hardly felt a thing. And up to the 30. Johnston now off, McKenzie on. This is Stimson. Nice step off the left foot away from Smith. 15 metres inside their own half. The Sydney Tigers. Michael Gillette. He's got a real question mark on his kicking game, but he has nailed down the number 7 spot for the Tigers.
And a big job for him this afternoon, obviously, in the kicking game. One player who really has started well for the Tigers is their second row, Mark Stimson. He's involved in a couple of try-saving tackles early in the game, hitting very hard.
McKenzie tackled. Campbell now works with Dimmick. Show of the ball to Morgan. The defence is there with Hanley, and Dimmick still going. Slips the ball from McCracken, and then an intercept. It came for Kennedy. If it had have found the hands of Marnie, may well have scored. Close call that time. Tigers back now with Morrison. Tackle from Campbell. Watch it again. McCracken, if he finds Marn. O'Neill lifting the tackle there. Changes in the camp with Adam Starr off the field. Steve Roach, Ellery Hanley's having quite an impact as well for the Tigers today.
Well, he certainly makes the difference. Although he's only played 10 games this year, he has only played in a couple of losing games for the Tigers, and he hasn't shut up since he's been out there. Really good for the team morale.
And Gillette feeding along. Here's that man Hanley inside there for Kennedy. 35 metres out from the Parramatta line. Hanley on the last, placing his kick. Mabon attacks the ball. He probably could have let it bounce and watched it go over the dead ball line. He thought, take no chances. Now 10 metres out from their own line. Marner's back. Brand went a little high in the tackle. He's the replacement player. Former rugby player with the Northern Suburbs club in Sydney.
It's Matthew Spence tackle on the 20-metre line. So both coaches becoming fairly active in the interchange department as Marty McKenzie takes it close to the 30-metre line. They continue on the short side with Justin Morgan throwing the dummy.
Jason Smith just getting some attention to his right hand. This is the last tackle for the Eels, and Lawler gets a high ball away. Brasher should have no problems. Steadies and now goes on the attack, Tim Brasher. Straight away to top speed, inside for Edwards. The Tigers just inside their own territory. Patterson has come in off the right wing. He made good ground too, Tim Patterson. 10-metre gain. Centre away with Pearson. Pearson holding up the pass. He went around the back of Graham. 35 out with centre. Moving quickly from dummy half. Away for O'Neill. They took him ball and all. That was Shane Russell. Right around the chest. And the pass has come loose. Gillette has trouble. Now Hanley stepping away from trouble off the chest there of Hudson Smith. And Parramatta have possession with Justin Morgan. But here's the touch judge in now. I'm hoping it's not for the tackle because the referee, McBlain, had full view.
Well, I don't think it can be anything else. And straight away, a couple of the Parramatta players have gone across expressing their concern. And it is Shane Russell, the man who's going to be penalised. And it was high. Probably, if it was going to be penalised, should have been penalised on the spot because we believe the referee did have a good view of it.
McBlain is saying to the Parramatta players that he, in fact, did not have a view of the incident and would have acted if he did. Now Marty McKenzie gets a caution for a high shot as well. So McBlain attending to a number of duties there, and the bottom line is the Tigers have the penalty 30 metres out. And Brasher is indicating he'll go for goal.
Well, I think this is the kind of game where if points are on offer, you do grab them. Tim Brasher struck his first kick very nicely. I don't think there's any doubt that if he misses this one, a good chance of putting it dead anyway, so they would receive possession back.
I think Hanley's a bit disappointed that he wanted to go for a try. He's out there gesticulating to some players and a bit disappointed, I think. One thing about the Tigers' side is they've got some speed in their back line, and Parramatta wouldn't want to give them too much latitude. The likes of Kennedy and Gary Edwards are all very quick, Tim Brasher and Tim Patterson.
I've seen a lot of the Tigers. They've probably scored maybe not quite as many length of the field tries as clubs like Canberra, but they're not far behind, and a player like Kennedy has been instrumental in many of those raids, and this man on screen right now, Tim Brasher. So 30 metres out and 13 metres in from the eastern touchline here at Parramatta Stadium. Brasher, well, he struck that very badly, and Parramatta come back with the ball with Spence. He struck the ball so badly that the Tigers had a chance to come through and regain possession.
So, Blocker, do you still believe that they might have some trouble without a regular goal kicker?
We always knew it was going to be a tough struggle against Parramatta, and I can't really believe that they win the game without one.
Campbell works here for Dimmick. He's so strong, Jim Dimmick. Back there for Mabon. Tackled by Hudson Smith. 10 metres inside their own half. They trail by 2, the Parramatta Eels. Jason Smith is back out there now. With the hand strapped. And there's troubles in the Parramatta line with Jim Dimmick, just at the bottom of screen. There's the kick there from Lawler. It's wide of the sideline, so out on the full.
There's been very good pressure from the Tigers chasers on the kicker for Parramatta, Chris Lawler. See on this occasion it's Glenn Morrison coming through off the side of the boot. Now a good strong charge here from Corey Pearson, only arrested on the 40-metre line.
McKenzie made the tackle. They switched to the right side of the ruck. O'Neill, quick hands there for Patterson. And off his wing. And had Milford on his outside. Out of the left, Gillette. Pass with Hanley, just a palm off for Kennedy. Quick hands for Brasher. Straight through the centre, Tim Brasher. So dangerous, he really is, with the game's elite Tim Brasher. 30 metres out from the Parramatta line. Blindside play. O'Neill then for Patterson, and Russell makes a real crunching tackle, which has got his opposite number over the sideline.
Yeah, that's a ball that gave Patterson no hope. Cut-out ball, and Russell did well to put him over.
Did his best, Tim Patterson, to stay in the field of play, but obviously his buttock on the sideline.
Eels, Freeman throwing that pass there for Lawler. Harry Freeman, if the Parramatta side fail to make the finals, well, this is his second last match. Dimmick. Same can be said, I guess, of Ellery Hanley as well. And the Tigers line up. Jason Smith. He steps, he's found the gap and tries to push the pass. The Tigers come up with possession. Smith was under heavy attention from Ellery Hanley as Kennedy is tackled on halfway. Thrown backwards by McCracken. Man centre, works here for Brand. There's plenty of him, this Tony Brand. At about 110 kilos, well over the 6 foot mark as O'Neill takes them on. No thought of a pass that time. Gillette. Cross with Hanley. He had Pearson coming on the inside. Hanley's forced into trouble, then for Milford. Now Asa Milford gets a bit of stepping. Morgan made the tackle. A little shoddy, the Parramatta defence. There's inside ball there from Pearson for Brasher. Oh, and then he caught a real bump from McCracken. Last tackle for the Tigers. 35 metres out with Gillette. Kicks high, all the chasers are onside. Russell, he's going back and loses the ball. Well, he lost sight of it. It goes dead in goal. But he looked like he was going to catch it on the full and then watched it go over his head.
Yeah, a bit luck there. It's a towering bomb from Gillette, and he never had any idea, Russell. And lucky for him, it didn't bounce backwards.
I was talking to Wayne Pearce before the start of this game, and was pointing out that Michael Gillette had worked long and hard on his kicking game. We've been critical throughout the season that he does get a few away off the side of the boot. But so far in this game, he struck the ball very nicely as Justin Morgan makes it 48 out from his own line before his back slammed on his front.
Your best. Jason Smith, I noticed in back play while Peter was giving us that philosophy. That Latvian spray. But Dimmick has come from the field as Spencer's tackled 35 metres out from the Tigers line. Harry Freeman now with Jason Smith going for the midfield bomb. He avoided trouble after kicking, and there's some trouble now for the Tigers. The ball comes loose. Brasher is there, and McBlain says no knock on. The ball really did swirl. He went for the corner. Patterson. That probably, as Fatty has put it before, they needed more crabs there to pick up the scraps. They may have well got themselves a try. Once again, Pearson doing some good things for the Tigers. Now centre away for Staines. Taken there by Dean Pay. Also Campbell. That's 5 tackles for the Tigers. Gillette. That's where he can put this kick. One bounce to Rod Mabon on his own 20-metre line. And a bit of space here. Only Morrison up there in the first line of chasers, and Mabon sided half a gap. Pearson now off to the bench for the Tigers. Freeman along for Kelly. Penalty this time for inside the 10. Been some break since the last one for that offence. Quick tap from Freeman. He runs away from Brasher, then taken by a play that I thought was offside. O'Neill, 40 metres out from the Tigers' line. This is Morgan. Good defence. Star came up. Now 30 metres out with Dean Pay. Had 2 goes at it. Slipped the pass for McKenzie. McKenzie then able to put Pay again on away, and then for Spence. A few offloads there for Parramatta. And only got the 1 try. 6-4 the Tigers in front. Freeman. Then for Lawler. Lawler. Inside. Here comes Mabon. Mabon off the deck to McKenzie. Then for Morgan. Morgan wrapped up by the Tigers defence. Straight line for the black and golds as here is Pay. He had no support. So they've just broken down for a shade here, the Parramatta side, as Freeman now kicking for the corner. Marner's chasing, but Brasher did it very easy. and then gets decked.
And the touch judges come in as well. McBlain now coming over, so a little bit of drama here at Parramatta Stadium. An ordinary kick there from Wiz Freeman. He'll be disappointed.
It was a poor set of 6.
Well, Pete, when they change direction, Parramatta, when they go back the other side, the players are standing there, just flat-footed doing nothing. Let's see what the incident is all about here. Brash is taken. Well, I can't see too many problems with that. McCracken came in a little bit late, but nothing illegal there. And see the Parramatta team standing flat-footed. The rugby league's a game of anticipation. You've got to think, well, if it comes back here, I've got to be ready to get back deep, run onto the football. Not happening.
Well, I think you pointed out earlier too, the other problem is a lack of depth, so they're flat-footed and with no depth at all in their play, so it's no pressure on the opposition defence at all.
Thinking back over their last few games, a bloke like Stuart Kelly's hardly seen the football as Brasher tries a chip over the top, and Pay is there. Very cool there, Dean Pay. Just allowed it to bounce and come back to him. Those forwarders that would help the Parramatta side. There's Dimmick. Goes straight and back for Russell. Russell through the centre. Now inside Tigers territory. Campbell. This is Morgan. Morgan then for McKenzie. McKenzie stopped as he got to the line and was stopped by Hudson Smith. Play the ball was incorrect, was it? It was, says McBlain against Marty McKenzie. It was all too quick from Marty McKenzie.
You know, when he called McKenzie out before, I watched McKenzie earlier. He didn't play the ball properly then. I'm sure he said to him, listen, you got away with it first time, you won't get away with it the second time. Here we are 10 minutes later, and it's a worse play the ball. And he didn't muck around this time, McBlain.
And that really epitomises the way a lot of players are in the game today with the urgency to play the ball quick. They do lose all their technique. And referees could penalise a lot of players in each match for exactly that from Marty McKenzie.
Adam Starr makes ground there inside the Parramatta 30. They headed into this game just clinging to a thread as far as their chances of making the finals. Well, at the moment, they're on the improve, albeit they only lead by 2 points. As Hanley inside with Milford. Right in the centre of the field, 30 metres out from the Parramatta line. Centre works with Hanley. Hanley, a dummy, doesn't quite have the speed to get through the gap. Last tackle for the Tigers, Gillette steadies, now kicks. Brasher is on the chase. Marner's under it. Brasher gets to it and will score for the Tigers. That's a double for Tim Brasher. You could see it coming the moment the ball went in the air.
None better in the air than the fullback, Tim Brasher. Great kick from Michael Gillette, but he had so much time to put this up. Have a look when he catches the football. No pressure at all, and a distinct lack of support for Scott Marn out there. Nobody behind him at all. I'm not quite sure where Mabon was. He must have been closer to the ruck, but nobody back there. It was almost 3-on-1. And if a mistake was made or a catch was taken, Scott Marn had to do it all by himself.
Well, the golden rule is when a bomb goes up and you're in defence, you know where the ball is aimed. You've got to get behind the man who is going up for it in case the ball goes on the ground. And there we are. Once Brasher gets it, there's no one in front of him. Too easy for him.
You've also got to get in the front of the player catching the football as well. If you have a look at the good coverage that takers of the high ball get from their support, normally they've got somebody shepherding out in front as well as ready to pick up the scraps behind.
Well, this is good by the Tigers. If you remember the first 9.5 minutes, no football, down 4-0, and they've had some footy lately. They're playing okay. They're being pretty well coached, I feel, from the way they're playing from Wayne Pearce, and they're ahead 10-4.
See from the stats there that Brasher has doubled his try tally for the season with the 2 here today. And it's all Tim Brasher on the scoreboard, just to make it 12-0. 2 tries and a goal so far for Tim Brasher. From 21 metres out, this one is to the left. So Brasher unsuccessful, but the Tigers are up by 6 here at Parramatta Stadium. Back, and Jason Smith again in trouble with that right hand. So off the field for the second time in the match. Tigers with their tails well and truly up, and Hudson Smith is able to offload. Now with Kennedy, is it 3 metres out from his own line tackle. In fact, it was Asa Milford, his centre partner. The Tigers, all the forwards doing their job. Mark O'Neill offloads for Hanley. There's a bit of a chance here for the Tigers. Hanley. And a wrestling tackle from Lawler and Freeman. Teammates from the '88 Grand Final for the Tigers. Staines gets a hit from Johnston, which loses possession, but Johnston's in trouble. Well, Staines is down, and the touch judge is straight in. This all hinges on the report. If it's damning enough against Peter Johnston, he may not remain out there.
Well, the touch judge has just told the referee that the arm connected with the ball, but also with the head, and it was a high tackle. It has not been placed on report, and how that can be penalised, I will never know.
Oh, that'll do, mate. Fair dinkum. Blocker, what about that one?
Oh, well, he arrived right at the right time, right when the ball hit, but no, that was nothing.
It's embarrassing.
No, he's caught him around the collar.
The other thing is, Paul McBlain was only about 8 metres away and saw it perfectly.
Paul McBlain has just told Ellery Hanley he was inquiring why further action wasn't taken, and he said that the arm came up off the ball. So how that could be penalised, I don't know anyway.
The Tigers are with it, Gillette. They maintain the rage, the Tigers. They're 25 metres out. Real drive they're getting from their forwards. Adam Starr. It's lined up there by Dean Pay. And he's able to offload back for Hanley, but that was at the moment McBlain had called held. So they'll have a scrum to pack down. It was simultaneous. No penalty against the Tigers player. But no advantage either for Parramatta.
He's played pretty well too, Adam Starr. He's only a young kid. When I say that, he's probably in his early 20s. And he's got a good chance here to cement a top spot for the Tigers. He's built up for this, and he's been playing now for about 5 weeks in the number 8.
Yeah, he's a good young player. I think he originally came from the Roosters as Chris Lawler spins out of a tackle, and he slotted in the front row. Looks as though he's worked out a little bit and filled the frame out. Always had the good frame, but maybe lacked a little bit of weight, but he picked up in that department.
His fourth start in this Tigers lineup as Dimmick again threatening, but that's all it's been. It hasn't been converted to long breaks for the Parramatta side. Johnston, can they get a roll on this time? Gillette makes the tackle. With an assist from Hanley. Now inside the Tigers 40, Campbell. They didn't get the quick play the ball they wanted. Freeman across for Pay. Pay, then quick hands for Lawler. Again, shut down by the Tigers' defence. Morrison was up quickly that time. This is the last for Parramatta. Dimmick kicking for the corner, turning Edwards right around. Brasher looks to have this one comfortably covered, but can he get back to the field of play? Past one, past two, and Brasher is back to the field of play.
Well, that's like scoring a try. He's doing it at both ends, Timmy Brasher. Well done.
And it is out from their own line. By 6 points. Parramatta had possession for the first 35, 36 tackles in the match. There's Stimson, just outside the 20. There was a good story on Mark Stimson in Rugby League Week this week, talking about his life away from football. He's an apprentice plumber, and he starts work each day at 7 o'clock. He does his weights work at 5:30 in the morning. Dedicated off the field as he is on. And this one from Gillette, dances with the sideline and finds it 25 metres out from the Parramatta line.
Well, we all get up and do our weights at 5:30 in the morning, Andrew. It's good kick here from Gillette. Finding touch. Rod Maybon in two minds as to whether to play the football or allow it to go over. It's not long to go out to half-time now. It's been a strong effort from the Tigers. A poor start in the first 10 minutes, but they've really come back, and the momentum with them going into the break.
Yeah, Pete, you do a lot of hand weights, don't you?
Exactly, but mate, my weights were I'd wait till they finish so we could go and do something else.
Is out from their own line, Matthew Spence, and now there's a penalty for inside the 10 against the Tigers. Wrapping up our Stimson discussions, there was one dark hole in the article. They did say that he got up at 4 a.m. and weight started 5:30, so he must take an awful long time to get dressed and have a shower, Mark Stimson. Either that or the gym's at least 150 kilometres from where he lives. here's Lawler with that touch finder on the eastern side. I really do feel Parramatta need to score before half-time. They've got 3 minutes to do it. Johnston is 35 metres out from the line. Campbell working here with Pay. He's angled across field. The defence is there with Corey Pearson around the legs. Campbell along for Freeman. This is Demick. He's lost the ball. The Tigers back with it. And Kennedy is wrapped up.
And lucky that Chris Lawler grabbed hold of him, because he can score a 60-metre job, Bubba.
So a disjointed performance in the first half from Parramatta. The Tigers with Hudson Smith. He just shrugs away from one. And lifted there by Gary Freeman.
Well, they've been very flat, Parramatta, and they're definitely not the same side without Jason Smith out there. He creates a lot of things for them on the fringe of the rucks, and there's nothing happening at the moment.
They're in centre. Goes on a dart down the blind side. Got through the tackle there of Stuart Kelly. Last tackle for the Tigers. Gillette's in a position where he's thinking field goal. Here is Gillette. Now he goes for the bomb. It's come off the side. It's going to be a hard one for Mabon, who takes it 5 metres out from his own line. The chase gets there with Kennedy. He's past Kennedy. Wrapped up 15 metres out from his own line. And now much more on the field in 29 for Parramatta. He's been at the club for a fair while now, Robert Muchmore. Jim Dimmick inside for Johnston. They're waiting for that inside ball. Brand was there with Hudson Smith. Now Campbell gets from dummy half. Will make 10 metres. Able to work something from this momentum. Dimmick kicks for Lawler. And also for Mahon, as Edwards again is there. And now Edwards has a chance. Lawler gets across. One-handed grab to make the tackle. The Tigers have answered just about every challenge from Parramatta. Here is Hanley. It's a swinging arm from Pay.
And the field goal is a good option if they can work it down closer to the post in this final minute. Slow play the ball from Ellery Hanley doesn't help. I think that's about the second tackle now. And number 3 up, so they've still got to probably get another 20 metres or so if they're going to have a final attempt to make it a 7-point ball game at the break.
Well, you're not prepared to say he can't kick it from anywhere after what Andrew Willis did in Monday Night Football just 5 days ago. The match at Campbelltown, but Gillette decides to kick, and it really is a nothing kick. There's nothing doing. It's gone to the in-goal area. Mahon just forces it, but that should be able to soak up time up to the half-time break. Parramatta will certainly be putting the brakes on rather than have the line drop out. Blame allowing the clock to continue. They're in the 10-second countdown. Siren sounds now, and that is the end of the first 40 minutes. So Parramatta fans would have been hoping that this was the win that keeps them on track for the finals, where they're going to have all the work to do after the break. The Tigers are the team at the moment that are keeping their finals hopes alive. The Tigers lead the Eels by 10 points to 4. Take a break and come back with more. Parramatta are back out there, and they will need to really fire away right from the start here in the second half. For all intents and purposes, it really is a sudden death match, this one. Parramatta need to show the desperation, but by the same token, that doesn't mean pushing the pass. The full 40 minutes to get their way in front. As the Tigers return, Dan Staines is back out there for the Tigers. He copped a blow in the first half. The Sydney Tigers side, Steve Roach told us before the match, it was their goal to win 11 matches. They've won 10 up until today, and Ellery Hanley is certainly a key man in them winning the 11th match. So Tim Brasher, 2 tries in the first half for the Tigers. He also landed a goal to give them the advantage. So now the second half. Parramatta with Lawler underway. A deep kick off to the Tigers in goal. And it's Stimson who'll come back and slips before the 10-metre line. Gillette away with O'Neill. Impressive 2 second rowers, O'Neill and Stimson in the first half. Now Staines. Clocked the forearm there. A shade on Muchmore, who came up to make the tackle. Oh, it's been towed forward from dummy half accidentally. Parramatta turnover with Johnston 5 metres out from the Tigers line. That was a strange one from the dummy half. He centre led over to pick up the ball and it hit him on the leg. The Smith burrows for the try line. Elected 2 4-pointers last week. 5 metres out. Marr for Freeman. Freeman then for Pay. Pay offloads, intercept. It's with O'Neill for the Tigers. 30 metres out. Brasher looming up. Can he juggle? He has. Tim Brasher. Now for Edwards. The chase is on from the Eels and Dimmick makes the tackle. Freeman has been left behind, I think, for Parramatta. Back on the Tigers 30. Tigers still in possession. 30 metres out from the line and Kennedy is tackled by Muchmore. So Parramatta are 1 down. It's with Morrison. The Tigers with Gillette the halfback. He stumbles. The ball is knocked down. Still in possession as Morrison. Now with O'Neill. O'Neill taken in the tackle and this time they managed to get him down. Hanley. Then with a pass to Staines who finds himself in the centres. Only Patterson on his outside. It's centre for Gillette. Thought about kicking straight away now. Passing, they've got them stretched. Adam Starr straightens up the point of attack. Wrapped up on the last tackle. Campbell made the tackle as a matter of fact. They're 22 metres out. Well, he's still thinking field goal. Brasher goes the bomb. Maybon is up and takes it. Rod Maybon. And now a penalty for interference. The player who came running across.
Yeah, Tim Brasher taken out of the play. Right in front of the sticks. This will be a gift. Well, maybe not a gift, 2 points for Tim Brasher, but you'd think he'd be able to pilot this one through. But a good entertaining start to the second half from both sides. The Tigers coming 90 metres in a matter of 6 or 7 tackles.
Well, coming, of course, from a Dean Pay intercept. Tim Brasher, some juggling in the lead up to this play, and there you can see Jason Smith. He's dropped the right shoulder into Tim Brasher. Football still high in the air, so the referee, no hesitation awarding the penalty, and rightly so.
Shane Russell running across the front of Maybon. He's put his hand over his head.
I think they were instructed at half-time to give some protection to the fullback, Rod Maybon, when the bomb goes up. Just didn't execute it particularly well.
Brasher, this is for an 8-point lead. Freeman there getting the treatment. He was down for quite some time, leaving the Parramatta line down by 1. Brasher 1 from 3. Just to the right-hand side of the uprights. There's the 2 points the Tigers were wanting. So 12 points to 4 is the score. 2 minutes into the second half. Now back at the opposite end of the field, this was the funny one with centre at dummy half. They lose possession inside their own 20.
Well, it's a funny thing, I've seen referees give penalties to the attacking side for that sort of thing. The Parramatta player laying around on the ruck, but he missed that and just went the other way.
Now Parramatta need to score in quick time to stay in touch. If the Tigers can get more points here, it could be real trouble. This is Gillette. Now with O'Neill. Outstanding Mark O'Neill in this performance. And Darren centre. Morgan drives in with Pay. No errors from the Tigers. That would be the message from Wayne Pearce. Adam Starr taking ball and all by Campbell. Trying to ruck their way out of trouble at the moment. Centre now. Morrison is the willing runner. He obliges with a 7 or 8 metre gain. Last tackle now for the Tigers. Gillette is to the right side of the ruck. Second choice kicker is Brasher. He gets a kick off the side of the boot, straight down the centre of the park for Maybon. Now can he link up with Marn? He'll have to run some distance. It's a short right that ends his run. Freeman is recovered. Now Russell. Inside their own territory, Parramatta. Who can spark them? Peter Johnston runs the short side. Milford was there with Morrison. Now, is the call out here? Johnston, is it to the blood bin or Morrison?
I think a swinging arm against Morrison.
Once again, though, Pete, it's a late call, whether it come from the touch judge. A good strong tackle over the top from Morrison. He's had a very good season in 96. He didn't miss him. But the line was pretty well set before McLean got the call.
Johnston might have his number next time around. Morgan is able to step through one tackle. 21 metres out from the Tigers line. Campbell here for Dean Pay. He's got Mabon in support. Wasn't able to offload that time. Now Smith is getting a little closer to the action. Campbell works here for Dimmick, then inside for Mahon. He was hurtling through. Tackled by Stimson. Almost flew over the top of the line, Scott Mahon. Campbell with Dimmick. He's got no one on his outside, Jim Dimmick. 10 metres out from the line. The Tigers players are penalised for inside the 10. What is going on with Parramatta?
Well, I think they've got a kick for goal here. Trailing by 8.
Oh, they stay on the attack with Dean Pay, but that previous play, Dimmick had a good 15 or 20 metres of the width of the field to work with no one in support. Now Freeman, no gap there, shut there by Mark O'Neill. It just looks a little pedestrian for Parramatta. Campbell away for Smith. He throws the short pass for Dimmick. Tigers defence there. 3 defenders, Gillette, Hanley. Rasher was up in the line as well. Campbell now for Smith. Hanging onto the football, can't slip the pass. O'Neill over the top to wrap up the ball. Freeman, then for Lawler. Lawler has Morgan, picks off Mabon. Quick hands needed, Kelly for Russell. Russell going for the corner to come against there. And it's called back for a forward pass. It's play on for the Tigers. Milford then passing for Patterson. And the Tigers counter-attack like the best in the business today. And now a double whammy against Parramatta. They've conceded the penalty, Peter Johnston. What a way to work themselves out of trouble.
Yeah, good penalty that one. No doubt that Peter Johnson went on with the tackle after it was completed. Shane Russell here trying to put the ball back into play before being taken over the sideline. And another intercept taken at this end of the field, putting them on the attack through Asa Milford. And Johnson comes in on Patterson and then pushes him back.
Comment from the sideline, Steve Roach.
Yeah, well, plenty of pats on the back for the Balmain players by Wayne Pearce at half-time. He praised their early defence. He said the only danger for them is Smith on the fringe of the ruck. They've got to watch that. They've got to mark up man for man in defence. That's the only 2 problems that they do have. He said they're having plenty of opportunity. They look good when they've got the football. Just don't try and force the pass. Make sure of the pass so you complete your sets in the Parramatta room. Ronnie Hilditch can't believe the effort of his team in the first half. They look flat. He wants them to get a little bit deeper and run with players when they do run with the football. He said they've got to lift their intensity if they do expect to make the top.
Here goes Gillette blocker, straight through the centre. Hanley there in support. Away from Kelly, away from Smith. Hanley will score, yes! The Tigers, with Ellery Hanley scoring the try, and he's left a real trail behind him.
Well, that is absolutely woeful defence. Take nothing away from Gillette and Hanley. They cut through them. But there's just awful defence here, straightening up Gillette. Now even here, there's got to be enough Parramatta cover defence. Kelly gets pushed off, so too Smith. Carries Freeman over the line. Just another soft try scored.
You've done it again, Blocker. The call came, hold that knock here, and away we went. As Gillette strides through, he's had a pretty good game. His kicking game's on fire today, and the running game's just starting to get going. And Hanley, you wouldn't think he's 36, as he beats 3 tackles here to get the try. And are we looking at the Tigers making the top 8 in 96? Freeman does his best to hold him up, but the Wiz is only about 4 stone 6.
Well, as we pointed out at the start of this game, as Ellery Hanley lays the law down to his teammates, this will take the Tigers to 22 competition points if they are successful this afternoon. A couple of results might go their way. They'd have to definitely win their last match against the Sydney City Roosters. Who knows, stranger things have happened. Tim Brasher now put another nail in the coffin.
15 out, and that one is sprayed to the right. There's still life for Parramatta. 31 remaining, 16-4, the Tigers lead. What can Parramatta come up with here at the Parramatta Stadium? Saturday afternoon football. And the Eels behind by 12. They led 4-0 early, and Gillette, he set up the try for Hanley. Still had plenty of work to do, Ellery Hanley. Probably one of his finest moments for the season. Smith went for a big hit.
And you can see that
Tigers with it, 25 metres out.
You see the Tigers are gaining in confidence as the match goes on. There's a a handy hand thrown in there from Marn because there was space on the outside.
The old handy hand.
Gotta have those handy hands.
Not a bad name for a business, really. The
But
handy hand.
Here it comes.
I don't know what sort of business.
There's the handy.
They have a working pay.
But the score could have been anything if Tim Brasher, look, you can't blame Tim Brasher, he's only a part-timer as far as the goal kicking is concerned, but an Ian Heron out there and the score is probably 20-22-4 and it's all over Red Rover.
And you just wonder whether that kick that Brasher missed from a relatively easy position on the last conversion is going to play a role in this match, because at the moment, Parramatta are 2 converted tries away. If that had gone over, they'd have had to have scored 3 times to win the game. I don't know whether a point would be enough out of a draw to make the quarterfinals, but it would be better than what they're looking at the moment.
Ian Heron watching on. He is the #1 goal kicker at the Tigers club. He'll be here plenty of times next year with Parramatta. Right now the Tigers doing it without him. And here's Adam Starr. Again, I just stress there hasn't been a bad forward in the Tigers pack, and that includes the 3 bench players. Mark O'Neill, full of running away from Dean Pay. Almost a half-hearted attempt from Dean Pay. Their 5 metres inside the Parramatta half. Last tackle, Gillette. And across for Brasher. This time a chance to run. Tim Brasher over the 40-metre line. Look at the speed of Brasher. Chips over the top of Maybon. Marn is back there for Parramatta. It's a line dropout, but that was superb from Tim Brasher.
Yeah, one-on-one with Robert Muchmore. There was only ever going to be one winner. They raced up to try and put some pressure on the kicker. Jason Smith was on the inside, and running of the football on the last was a good one. Maybon just got a little bit of a bump on Brasher. That helped things. Scott Marn had the speed to get back. It would have to be an enormous turnaround in this game for the Tigers to be beaten. They're playing fine football, very confident, and just taking the right options. Here comes Stimson.
Mark Stimson. All fire as he lost the football. He's making a call to the sideline, and there is a penalty. The touch judge gets the message to McBlain. This one's 31 metres out for reefed out in the tackle. They lead by 12. Here's what the penalty was for. Stimson certainly let the touch judge know what had happened.
Yeah, Jim Dewick was the man penalised. Again, we point out poor ball security. That rule and the interchange rule for mine, no right to be in the game.
Well, up they come with big Tony Brand, 15 metres out. If they want that field goal, perhaps on tackle 4, maybe not waiting to the last. Adam Starr, they may back themselves for the try the way they're going. 10 metres out from the Parramatta line. And centre. They work centre field with Pearson. They support Pearson. Stimson, a passage to the try line. That is all too easy. The Tigers have scored again. Oh, I hope they make the final.
Well, it was Sydney Heads. You just cannot believe that there was a gap the size confronting Stimson on their own try line. As he takes the ball up, we freeze play there. This player is going to score the try. Have a look at the size of that gap. You could stroll through there and score the try, which basically is what the man does. And that's hard to fathom.
Oh, that's unbelievable. You could have put 40 blockers through this gap. Now that is a big gap. Poorly read from Muchmore. He didn't make any attempt to come in. You could see it coming a mile off. And well, Parramatta, what's happened to them? The team who has been in great form the last few weeks, it's fallen apart for them today. The Tiger War dance, it's on.
And Stimson, not the sort of player that would score too many tries. We talked about him in the first half, the apprentice plumber. He was the Riverina Player of the Year last year, Mark Stimson, in his first year in the Optus Cup. And Brasher, he's got another kick from close range. This incredibly for an 18-point lead. 10-4, they led at half-time. Brasher this time is on target, and Laurie Nichols. He's throwing lefts and rights at Dan Staines. Don't stand up, Dan. It's 22-4. Parramatta, it goes from bad to worse. Waller, deep kick. Stimson, the try scorer, 10 metres out from his own line.
Lockie, I reckon you'd have scored that one through that big gap, champion.
Yeah, thanks for the rap, champion. Yeah, mate, the Tigers just out-theused them today. I mean, you've talked about their young forwards, but everyone's really putting their hand up to take the ball forward. This man now, Adam Starr, we were talking about him in the first half, he's still only 23 years of age, and people sort of, look at him and say, look at the size of this bloke, he must be doing a lot more, but he's maturing every week.
What about the extra pep and the voice of the former Tigers, Steve Roach?
Tigers.
Get up.
Oh dear, the Tigers 10 metres inside their own half. Gillette. Well, that's come right off the part of the boot he wanted. Mabon now, look at the chase of the Tigers. There's 6 coming through. Rod Mabon still trying at the back, but he's been making the first up tackles on Rod Mabon as Freeman away with Russell. Russell is through the centre for Parramatta. Gillette is there to make the tackle. All too rare sight in this match for the Eels. And McKenzie.
Well, now up to the Eels to really throw caution to the wind. They've got absolutely nothing to lose. Is Lawler picking up Stuart Kelly, probably his second touch of the game.
Back inside, Lawler didn't try to catch the pass, it's towed through, it could be play on. Lawler now goes on the chase, can he get there? He doesn't! Lawler too late, over the dead ball line. McLean hesitated and then allowed play to continue, and Lawler almost got there.
Well, a little bit of Manchester United footwork here from Gary Freeman. Kelly hit the ball back inside. He's interfered with, play on, and just kicked the ball too deep into the in-goal area. No doubt this one's over the dead ball line despite the despairing dive.
Yeah, the crowd blowing up there that Gary Freeman was taken out after his little chip kick, but he was never going to take any further part in it. Lawler was well past him, so no luck there for the Eels.
The Tigers, 22-4, they're in front. 23 minutes remaining. Tim Patterson. Wayne Pearce firming for Coach of the Year. They're talking about candidates of the ilk of David Waite, Phil Economidi, some of the battling clubs. As Brasher is taken there by Campbell. It's caught a forward pass. Brasher straight to his feet. So Parramatta will have the scrum feed, but no Wayne Pearce. He's certainly up in the front runners for the Coach of the Year award. It's the ball from Pearson.
Great job, Wayne Pearce. Made some very tough decisions when he first took over the Tigers. Rid of probably some of his classier players.
Here's Mabon. Wrapped up there by Milford. Differential penalty, offside from the scrum. 35 metres out from the Tigers' line. 18 points down. Where are the points going to come from for Parramatta? Wayne Pearce. Too much emotion from Wayne Pearce then. Now the restart, the free kick with Campbell, away for Freeman. Dimmick, if he could offload, as he does. Freeman picked up the dregs and McLean has caught it forward. It's bounced forward out of Dimmick. Dimmick hates the decision, outraged.
Well, if it bounced forward, it should have been okay. It all depends on whether the ball went back. Looks like it's gone forward from that shot there. And Dimmick obviously frustrated, has had plenty to say, and want to be careful here he's not penalised. He's told by the referee to put his head in the scrum. Gary Freeman feels the same way, just got to get on with the football.
Now, scrumming against the feet, is it for Parramatta? The scrum's broken away. Morrison was ready to sprint 75 metres, now some push and shove. Smith tangling with Tim Brasher. Dean Pay's on the deck and he's in a bit of trouble. His left hand, possibly his left wrist. Dean Pay's in awful trouble. The bottom of that scrum.
And they're calling for the stretcher. He's a tough man, Dean Pay. I mean, he wouldn't be laying there for a picnic. He must be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you've got to think there's a fracture or something involved there.
Probably just a spawn. You're thinking break or something.
Yeah, they're the same thing, aren't they?
It's not a broken fracture. But both the touchies are in, so there's been something happen in the scrum, no doubt about it.
It was a very untidy scrum and the ball was all over the place like a pinball. Let's just have a look here. Dean Pay's the number 10. Brown is underneath him, driving up. And then we see Morrison flying off, and this has all taken place to the right of that. The front row is coming together. As we pointed out, Pay does not stay down unless there is something seriously wrong. Dr. Michael Johnson out now having a look, and even just pressure on the arm. You can see a shake of the head from Dean Pay saying, no, this is no good.
Well, either a fracture of the arm or possibly even a dislocation to the elbow. The way they're treating, we'll get the report from Steve Roach shortly. Here, Parramatta have got the penalty from the skirmish out of that scrum. So Dean Pay goes from the field, and that's a sight that Parramatta fans have become accustomed to this year with their star players. So many of their off-season acquisitions did not get the game time the fans or the players themselves were hoping for. It is a long, long list. And Dean Pay, their captain, leaves the field. Play continues for the Eels, though. Mackenzie, 15 metres out from the Tigers' line. Campbell back with Freeman. Freeman, flat pass for Morgan. Morgan, 5 metres out from the line. Campbell is there. Freeman again. He hasn't had too many runs of the football. Dimmick, a support player, was knocked down. It was Jason Smith. Taken over the play. I think it was Corey Pearson who shouldered Smith out of the way. Campbell, Freeman. Matthew Spencer's dropped it cold into the hands of Dan Staines. And now the touch judge is on, and this will be for the tackle on Jason Smith. Not in possession. Freeman knows what's on. He's running straight over to the mark.
Well, there's the number 11 taken out just by the centre. Penalty awarded. Parramatta, if they are to be any chance in this game, must score in this set of 6.
20 minutes remaining. Mackenzie has the first crack, and he's driven back to the 10-metre line. Now they go on the circle. 9 metres out, Campbell. For Freeman, Dimmick is with it. Dimmick angles in for Spence. Spence needs support. It's Freeman. Freeman 15 out, away from 1. Parramatta stay on the attack with Mahon. The pressure is there with Edwards. Scrambling defence from the Sydney Tigers. Here's again Dimmick calling the shots. Spence this time is the decoy, picks off Lawler. Lawler then gets the pass for Morgan, and Morgan has scored. Well, is this the start of the comeback? It will need to be a big one. But that is their second try.
Oh, beautiful pass there from Jim Dimmick, and Chris Lawler, who's been fairly quiet this afternoon, running into the gap. Freeze play there. You can see that this player, the Balmain or the Tigers player, is actually drawn in to go for the player on the inside of Lawler, and that opens up the gap on the outside. And as play continues, the weight of the pass was a beauty. That player came up with nothing. Good support from Justin Morgan, playing a little bit wider as second row this afternoon, and that will give them some confidence, but a great pass here from Dimmick.
Yeah, the front passes like this can really cause some damage. As a player, you've only got a millisecond to react that long. And it's a good ball from Lawler. And Morgan's had a pretty fair game, gets the try. Does that get them back into it? They need this kick.
Hudson Smith was the player caught out, the number 14 you saw as Chris Lawler moves in.
The left foot of Chris Lawler is successful. It's back to 12 here at Parramatta Stadium. Saturday afternoon football, 18 minutes remaining. And there's the ball again from Dimmick. And Lawler did everything right.
A lovely offload there. Two of the young stars for Parramatta over the last couple of weeks, combining at the end of that. Lawler onto Justin Morgan. Now Gary Edwards bringing the Tigers back to halfway fairly slowly. Just regroup, and obviously a field goal would be something that would break the spirit again if they can get into a position to make it a 13-point lead.
Edwards, the restart for the Sydney Tigers. Parramatta Freeman. Mackenzie tackled 15 out. Tigers sticking to their job though as Spence puts a step before the line. He makes 10 metres on that play. Now with Gary Freeman. He runs around the back of Jason Smith. Cops the tackle of Morrison and Gillette. Parramatta side. You need a double here as far as tries are concerned. Morgan, that is the try scorer, working the blind side. Now Campbell. Dimmick kicking before the last. And Brasher, takes it on the fingertips. Tim Brasher having a rare game. Away from Russell, then away from Smith. Runs into Matthew Spence in his tackle. Tim Brasher, a flawless game from him. The Tigers working it away from their own 30. Reserve grade today was a win to the Sydney Tigers, 28-20. Also report there was a President's Cup match played and Parramatta minor premiers in the President's Cup. Look at that result, 60-10. Favourites for the under-21 title. The Tigers now just inside Parramatta territory. Working here with Pearson. He's a very good ball player, Corey Pearson. Last tackle for the Tigers. Are they too far out for the field goal? Gillette is in position. He kicks for the corner. Trying to play for field position. Maybon gets it on the first bounce. It wasn't a great kick from Gillette, and Maybon gets back to the 20.
All of a sudden, there is a little bit of a spring to the step of Parramatta because of the converted try, and that's why the field goal would take that away immediately. I think that Ellery Hanley was a bit keen to get in there and maybe look for it, but no thought at all from Michael Gillette.
Tigers defence. On the width of the field, and did the ball come loose there? It has. Now what's referee McLean going to rule? A knock on against Parramatta. Hands go up from Gary Freeman. Gary to have a few words to the referee.
Young Jamie Marn on in 17. See his brother here, Scott Marn, the player, losing the football.
Tigers, Hanley from this scrum, working here for Kennedy. I still reckon there's another try left in this Tigers outfit in this match. O'Neill's put it down just to say that, and Parramatta back in possession. So can they do something from a quick turnover? Dimmick, Tigers players look a fraction offside, and in fact McLean rules that way. I can't argue with that one. They were never back to 10. In fact, I don't think there was one player on the onside on that short side of the field, as Parramatta looking to step it up now.
He's almost playing a lay in hand, isn't he, Jim Dimmick, out there today? Everything that they do, everything good that they do, he's involved in.
They're 10 metres out from the line, Parramatta. Their 1996 campaign is right on the line now. Mackenzie, 5 metres out from the line. Campbell has a look to the left. That's where Dimmick is. Campbell throws the pass for Kelly. A step away there from Milford. Stuart Kelly wrapped up by the defence. Within 5 metres of the line now. Dimmick, look for the pass. It's a long one for Lawler. Lawler with an overlap on his outside, retains possession, comes back in field and cops a right arm from Brasher. Much more, then for Dimmick. Dimmick again, kicking for the corner. It's on here for Martin, he scores! Dimmick has set it up again. The lone hand is a hot one. And Parramatta are now back within 8 points.
Yeah, great thinking here from Jim Dimmick, and you'll see why on the replay. We freeze played there. That is Tim Brasher. He was at marker. You see the Tiger players all come up quickly. Nobody in behind. And Jim Dimmick sees that. Great vision. Slides it in. No fullback at home because he was in the marker position. And Scott Martin leading the way. A little bit of doubt as to whether he was onside. The referee was in good line with it.
Well, Dimmick's become the Peter Sterling of the 90s for Parramatta. He's just doing everything like Snorky used to do for the Eels during the 80s. And he's a great player, Jim Dimmick.
Believe me, mate. You know the problem, I know that I go on about it a fair bit, the interchange, Paul. If I was the coach, I would almost be tempted to bring Jim Dimmick off when your team is defending and just running back on when you've got the football. And that's NFL, that's American football.
Maybe that's where the game will head if they continue to leave this interchange rule the way it is. I think there should be an interchange, but let's limit it to 6 or 8.
Exactly.
I've got no dramas with that at all.
Parlance, Jim Dimmick is the quarterback for Parramatta. He's the one that sets up the plays. He's got a fair assist in Jason Smith on the side as well. And Lawler is 5 metres in from touch. This is such a vital kick. Lawler, it's on his good side. It's headed for the post and wide. Chris Lawler unsuccessful. The Tigers, they lead by 8. There's 12 to go. Sydney Tigers have to get some more points just to make this one safe. Parramatta with Maybon, who had a nail-biting finish last week against Cronulla. And was just outside their own 20. In fact, the last month has been all tension for Parramatta. A lot of tight matches. A draw against the Roosters in Monday Night Football some weeks ago. And now with Dimmick coming back in field that one. Not able to offload it, slips out there for Mackenzie. Steve Roach on the sideline, the story on the injuries, both Dean Pay and Jared McCracken.
Yes, suspected broken wrist for Dean Pay, and Jared McCracken has concussion. I don't think he'll be back.
Now Parramatta, it's been knocked out of the hands there, was it, of much more. Play on is the call for Brasher.
Yeah, timely tackle over the top there. I think it might have been Darren Sender. He was just shaping to pass Robert Muchmore. Crunched over the top. Takes the wind out of the sails, and now Wayne Pearce will just be calling on his troops to settle things down. No drop ball, work through your set of 6, and at the end get a good kick away. Whatever is needed in the kick department, get a good one away.
And Staines with that hit up. Darren Sender. Michael Gillette. Now it's Hanley. Hanley almost around the outside of Dimmick. He makes the tackle. It comes with Gillette. It's on the last tackle for the Tigers. Here is a high ball for Maybon. Now are the chasers onside? Maybon no takes it. No dramas there. And Parramatta back in possession. Gee, they're two good fullbacks we're watching, Maybon and Brasher. Brasher's one of the best in the game, but Maybon is as game as they come.
A little bit like we were talking last night with Laurie Daly. You know that he's going to be an 8 out of 10 every week. For the Tigers and for the Eels, you know that the number ones are going to have good games. They'll just have better ones than others, but they'll always play good matches.
Oh, almost an intercept there. It'll be a knock-on against Tony Brand, the big front rower. Parramatta had some numbers on the right-hand side there. Should hear when Russell threw the pass. Former Tiger. As the club he first joined in 1988. That could be the one into the demise here. Now some punches thrown out of this scrum. Matthew Spence has got involved in the middle. Well, I'm not sure who started it. There's plenty of rights now being thrown. Centre and Campbell toe-to-toe.
Yeah, I think the two number 9s might have instigated things here, and I've got a feeling it might go against Troy Campbell.
Easy block, don't run in.
They look like they need a hand there, bud.
If you're out there, make sure you don't pat anyone.
Well, right in front of the big man, Steve Roach. Steve, who do you reckon started this one?
Oh, Campbell for sure. There isn't any doubt about that.
Ball going, it was a very scrappy affair from the word go. And there you see Darren Sender stands up. Troy Campbell grabs hold of him. Sender goes in low. And there's the first one.
Gary Freeman, the pacifist, just out of shot there. He was looking to get involved, trying to break things up. Has he connected with any? No. No time off here either with the caution. And the penalty's going to be against Parramatta. So it's 35 metres out from the line. The motion from McLean is for kicking.
And if there is a blight on the game of Troy Campbell, it is that. He is hot-headed in situations where you need to be exactly the opposite.
And just while that touch finder was being taken, the experienced players were there, rallying the troops. Brasher and Hanley were shouting the instructions.
So that's like giving away a penalty when you're in possession, because it was the Parramatta scrum feed.
Adam Starr here for centre. Centre tackled by Muchmore. The Tigers working for the left side here now. Hanley, a dummy almost forward there from Hanley. Still able to offload back with Pearson. 20 metres out from the Parramatta line. That's where he's upended. Starr looking for a hit up now to slow play the ball. Centre. They've got variation around the ruck. Brasher just stumbling there as he got to Muchmore. Creeping closer to the Parramatta line. Centre away for Gillette. Gillette fires that pass wide. The Tigers looking for ground on the corner. was a good tackle from Mann.
The bomb or the in-goal area needs to be the kick here from Gillette. He goes for the former. Pretty good one.
It's coming down short of the dead ball area. It's knocked forward there by Demick. Play on for the Tigers. Kennedy. Quick hands as a try coming. Patterson is going to win it for the Tigers. It's all over for Parramatta. That could be goodbye to 1996.
It is all over for the Eels in this game, and all over, you would imagine, for the 96 season. The Tigers, they deserve this victory. Michael Gillette puts the kick up. Plenty of players there. You see Jim Demick come flying through to try and get the bouncing ball. There he is to the right of the ruck of players. And it was swooped upon. Good hands here. Lovely pass, that one. I think it was Corey Pearson who threw it. And eventually Tim Patterson crosses.
So the Tigers will move to 22 points, and this is amazing. They've got to play the Roosters next week. Parramatta, I don't think, can make it now. And this try by Tim Patterson, it gives them some hope. They could beat the Roosters. They're missing a few players at the moment, the Roosters.
And that, of course, comes back to the indiscretion from Troy Campbell, when really they should have had the football from the scrum feed and win, and maybe been at the other end of the field. And little things like that change the course of matches.
And what this victory does, in actual fact, it still gives Auckland and Newcastle a lot of hope to make the top 8. And, of course, the West, who are in the top 8, who finish with Illawarra next Saturday.
What a game for them tomorrow against Manly as well, if they can come up with an upset. Of course, Manly rolled by Penrith last start, so Western Suburbs will again get a little bit of confidence out of that result.
There's a few points to be taken out of that try. Look at despondency on Gary Freeman's face. Troy Campbell still frustrated, still simmering. But you look at the respective checkbooks of these two clubs. I don't want to bring money into it, but why not? When you look at the off-season spending sprees of these two clubs. Here is Brasher from the sideline. Coming around is a Tim Brasher, just to the side of the posts. But the Tigers are home in this one, 26-14. There's 5 to go. And after that try, you fair dinkum reckon they were giving away $20 notes outside. The people were in the big rush to get outside the ground. And it was on the moment the ball was picked up.
And one of the real impressive things about this Tigers performance has been the way that their forwards have shared it around. They very unselfishly worked hard, provided a great platform for the rest of the players, especially for the fullback Brasher, who's just been a shining light now for the Tigers for a number of years. And it would be a shame if he went to any other club, because he is Balmain through and through.
Plenty of other players the subject of offers. Starr has tackled inside the 30. One of those players that just wanted a chance. He's got it in first grade and has probably had his best game today, as Morrison has tackled, 15 short of halfway. Centre with Brasher up in the line, then throws the pass for Pearson, and offload. It's been knocked down by the Tigers. They do force the knock on, though.
Look, they've made the mistake, but it's good positive football from the Tigers. They've shown all match they're willing to throw the football around. And Tim Brasher down with the cramp. Some good short passing here. This one from Pearson. He's a good player, Pearson.
Not a good sign. I think it's Brasher who's limping now for the Tigers, and he's packed down at lock in this scrum, favouring his right ankle. And Parramatta with Freeman.
And with Brasher going to lock forward, Glenn Morrison back at fullback now. A young player from the Central Coast showing some versatility.
And Brasher, in fact, favouring that right leg, has shifted out to the left wing. It's Rod Mabon through the centre here. 35 metres out. And McKenzie. 35 metres out from the line. Campbell with Freeman. He's kicking. Well, what is that kick? It's gone down to the fullback, Morrison. Dimick was the lone chaser. And Morrison from the back comes out to the 20, does a good job. And then gets a penalty, Glenn Morrison. So Parramatta, all 4 wheels of the cart now, are laying strewn across the road. There's less than 2 minutes remaining. And there's nothing they can do to get back in this one. Here's Morrison again. Got all the swerve of Tim Brasher, not quite the speed.
One thing for certain, the Tigers up against the Roosters next weekend. The Tigers will throw everything at Sydney City. come at them with all guns blazing. And if they can defend as well as they did early in this game, and pretty much for the majority of the match, it will really put pressure on one of the top guns in this year's competition.
The Tigers, Pearson. Every time he touches the ball, he creates danger. Brasher's made a miraculous recovery, 40 metres out from the Parramatta line. Not such a good recovery. Slow to play the ball. Just foxing, I think. Pearson again. He's developed into one of the better ball players in the competition. Hillary Hanley for Morrison. 30 metres out from the Parramatta line. Last tackle here for the Tigers. O'Neill working to the blind side with Gillette. He kicks back to the centre of the park. Here comes Mabon again. He hasn't spilt one, and he's not about to do it in the last minute either. Rod Mabon again, spot on.
Well, if Brasher's been a 9 out of 10 this afternoon, which I think he has been, Mabon's been an 8.
Countdown from the fans, and the Tigers have won this one. Some happy scenes from the bench. They remain in contention, and Parramatta will need some sort of miracle if they're to make the top 8 from here. The Tigers in rousing form, 5 tries to 3, winning by 26 to 14. It really is an intriguing puzzle in the run home to the finals.